Welcome to Trading Lounge and the US indices for the 25th of March. We'll look at the S&P, the NASDAQ, the Russell, and a handful of big tech stocks as well. So I wanted to look at the weekly chart just to gain a little bit of perspective. Obviously, we are at the 4,000, which I call a medium level, halfway between two major levels, and it's natural to see the market get sold off from here. So we don't need to, I'm looking at about 3 different counts, and that's okay. We just need to go through them one by one and we'll come out with something that's practical, and then we just use the intraday charts to figure out at what point would one count be correct over another and so on. But in terms of trend trading and all the rest of it, you would basically trade up to a large number and get out, so just be mindful of that. We're not really in the space of in the middle of a trend pulling back and kicking off again. We're in a toppy situation. We're at some type of top here. So my original count that I've always had has always been the wave 3 here, with the A wave, the B wave, and the C wave down here, and we picked the bottom here, which was nice, and we started to go long on the 2,500 area, and we've just worked through the different levels and the counts. And so I've kept this count here as 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 here. I have moved this to here and looking at different things with that, and counting up through here, which was a little bit difficult within this particular space here. But there is a count coming all the way up here where we just actually have a top in place here for this. That's one count, and we can look at that. There's a count that this wave 5 can be another little bit higher here as well. There's also the possibility, if that wave 5 top is in play here, well then it's possible that we could be in wave 1 here, going back for wave 2 shortly. There's also the possibility that this wave 5 from wave 4 here to wave 5, I mean, if we've got 5 waves there, why can't we have wave 5 here? So there's that question. And there's also, we could also, with a different count coming up here, we can also have wave 3 here, and in that case we would come back for wave 4, which I kind of think is the right count, really. So if we look at the Russell here, we know we can count 5 waves up to here as wave 1 and 2 here, and then 1 and 2 here, and going 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 for the 3rd wave, the 4th wave. The 5th wave's a little bit small, but the extension was in wave 3 here, from this wave 3, so that's the extension in the structure, and we've got wave 1 here. So normally if you've got the extension in wave 3 here, that means that wave 1 and wave 5 will be roughly the same sort of size here. We also have noted too that when markets are approaching highs, they tend to creep along, and that means that the move down here would overlap the previous top here, where we don't get that in the beginning of the trend or the middle of the trend. It's an ending type pattern where the market starts to creep to the upside, and we know that that's occurring at the moment. So yesterday and whatnot, we put this wave 5 in here as a possibility, depending on how far this is pulled back, and this is pulled back quite some, quite a distance here. It still may be that we can look at this as wave 1 here, back for wave 2 here, 3, 4 and 5 to finish this off here like this. So that's also possible as well. But if we get a cleaner breakdown, past this level here, then you'll know that this wave 4 here has started in that regard. And if this wave 3 has started here, then this one and this wave 4 here, well then we really need to look at that with our stocks as well. Well, we'll look at stocks in a moment, but with the S&P and the NASDAQ and so on. So coming back to the S&P 500 here, so it's possible to have 1, 3 or 5 in here for this here, but we also need to reconcile that, well, is it finished yet, or do we have more highs here? So we'll need to understand that as well. But if we matched up the on this chart here, if we matched up what we're looking at with the Russell, then we would look at it like this here, with wave 1 here and 2 here, and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and going up for wave 5 here. So we need to reconcile this situation here for this. So we have made a new high here. Not that that's a here nor there, but we need to work out is that the top here for wave 5 of wave 3 here, or do we count this low here as wave 1 coming up and back for wave 2 here, and then going up for 3, 4 and 5? And that's what we will be sort of looking at today. The NASDAQ is in a completely different count. The NASDAQ has moved down through here, but is only moved back up around this level here so far. For this, it hasn't moved up further, so we'll need to look at that again as well and try and bring that into the fold. So the current move to the upside, I've been looking at it like this here, with wave 3 over here, understanding that the Russell has got wave 1 sitting here, but wave 4 here, and then 1 and 2 here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for the third wave, the fourth wave, and the fifth wave here. So it's possible to count 5 waves up through here. So it is possible that we can put this wave 5 here, of 5 here, which would be probably wave 3 here, but possibly also wave 1 at that point. But we just need to be mindful that we need to confirm that that is a top at this particular point, and that we're not going to get another 5 waves to the upside, because that's what I've been looking at here in terms of wave 1 here, back for wave 2 here to the 50-60% retracement level that we were talking about yesterday. We had the A wave in, we're looking for the B wave yesterday, and the C wave is floating in. So we could look at this as 3, 4 and 5 here. So this is what we need to be a little bit mindful of here before we make assumptions about things. We need to have a little bit of evidence. So anyway, these are the two things that we talked about yesterday and so on. So we're still working through this scenario of this finishing here. So with that in mind, we can just we'll go to the 4 hour, but I think we're on the daily chart here. So yeah, this is what we were looking at yesterday. We talked about this top being in play here, or we've got an A and a B and a C wave here for this. So Thursday we normally see as bearish, and then Friday and Monday being bullish in our bullish weekly cycle. So we wanted to allow that to play out too, but we couldn't really turn bearish on this unless this is the 50-60% retracement level area here. Well, technically, unless we took this low out here, right? That's what it would need at that point to say that that top is in play there. Otherwise, we need to look at this as wave 1 and back for wave 2 here, and then going up for wave 3, 4 and 5 here. It could also end in as we've talked about before, as an A wave, a B wave and a C wave here as well, which we have on our website. So that also needs to be thought out as well in this case. So in a nutshell, that's kind of where we are really with all of this. So a bit of a tricky spot, but we just need to work through it. So just going to the hourly chart here, where we were talking about yesterday. So we've got long trades in the market here. So we've had the stop here, which is going to stop us out. So I can remove that here now as such, and we don't need these guys over here that have served us well here to a point, a little bit of profit. But yeah, so yesterday we noted that there was 5 waves moving down through here. So we're looking for an A wave, A, B, C back to the supply zone here, and then looking down for wave C to play out here somewhat further. So we could just drag that across there, roughly somewhere there. So we just need to see how this plays out here with this. So Thursday is likely to see further weakness there, but then we could build from that point, So in fact, what we can do, I know it's bearish around the traps, but we could go long on that high, or we'll need to look to go long on the first high above the level here, or even the second high above the level here. You know, the process, the classic trading levels pattern. So yeah, that's sort of where we are really with everything as far as the S&P is concerned. So we just need to work out, you know, we just need a little bit of time to figure out what's going to occur here. Now, the NASDAQ that we need to look at, so we know that, you know, we know that we're near a top here, and we know that some of the big tech stocks have got another leg down and so on, and but we also still know that markets are corrective in a way, because well, this is Amazon here. We know that Amazon's move down through here is in 3 waves. So we know that all this is corrective. We know that this can have another leg to the downside here, based on Apple and Tesla, that will also make new lows as well at some point. So the possibility of, but it's okay to have wave 4 here, and we could just continue to go up from this point, but it would be a bit of a lone journey, I think. So you know, moving up here somewhere and then coming down into this space and then moving up is probably on the cards, but we can talk about that later. But my point being here is that in the bigger picture, we're still working through these corrective patterns. So that means we still will have more highs here for all of these. So the bull run itself is not completed yet. That's the takeaway for that. If I just go to the 4-hour chart here so we can compare the NASI, so to speak. So the NASI has moved down through here, but is only sitting around probably in relationship or to this high here at this moment, and has dropped. So when we look at the NASDAQ here, it hasn't gotten, and it hasn't made new highs here for this. There is a case to count this as 5 waves down here, as I've mentioned before, as 1 and 2 here, and 3 here, and then an A and a B and a C here for wave 4, and then down for wave 5. So it's possible to have this down as an impulse wave here. But yeah, I'm not quite there yet. It does count better as an ABC in line with the S&P 500. And the move up through here counts quite nicely as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here. And then we've been looking for an ABC pattern back for this point here. This also seems to count nicely up here as 5 waves up here. And this is the 50-60% retracement level here, but it's gone through that. Will it go further down through here? I don't know, but even if it did, then we would still need to look at this as up for 1 here, then an A and a B and a C wave down through here for that. So I wouldn't be prepared to go bearish on this market unless the 12,500 here became the retested resistance. So we would need to see it locked under there at that point, and then would probably, you know, be looking, but there will be a lot of support in here as well. So it's not going to be an easy journey. So I'll stay with the long side for the time being with this NASDAQ. So we're looking to go long up here and here and here, and now we can bring it down to this point here. If the market's going to go up here further, then we would need to see a little classic trading levels pattern sitting here for this, and we may be able to get a better position. But we do definitely want to use the 13,000 as the, you know, as the support there for that. So we'll just stay on that side of it for the time being, but yeah, we'll just see how this plays out. There's nothing I can really sort of say or do at this stage of this, but yeah, we'll just, you know, this pattern was bullish on the S&P and on the Russell, so we're lagging here for the for this market. I mean, can it go down here further? Possibly, as a larger A, B and C wave, but I don't get a B wave out of here for this either, so I've got to stay on the bullish side. So we'll just allow, because Wednesday and Thursday are the swing days in the market. March has also got a lot to offer as well, in terms of, well, the equinox, but the equinox, behind the equinox is the accounting. I mean, the equinox period, you know, comes back from the farming days when all the accounting was set around that particular date in the harvest, and that's just something that went into the futures market and the accounting from that side of it, and it's just sort of carried on through. We've got the Feds ending their half-year cycle at the end of March. We've also got the business quarter as well. So there's a lot that goes on in March in terms of accounting, which means a lot of money gets shifted around, and it'll be interesting to see what any of the Fed's new policies are based on. You know, on their accounting at the end of March. So a very important sort of date in terms of cycles and so on. Okay, that said, let's have a look at our stocks here. So with Amazon here at the moment, let's just, well, the way I've been looking at it is wave 3 here with an A and a B and a C wave here for wave 4. Now from that point we can look at 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 moving up through here, but it seems to be it would be a bit of a lonely journey for Amazon. Some of the other big tech stocks like Tesla and Apple that have had 5 waves down here, we're looking at those having a correction and then another 5 here. So is it possible even to get, you know, 1 and 2 here and, you know, 3, 4 and 5 here to finish this off? Possibly, but we'll just go with the 3 waves at this stage, because that's where Tesla and Apple and that come in, because from their highs here, I can count 5 waves down. And so I was looking for an A wave, a B wave, and a C wave here, and then looking at 5 waves down here to finish this off. Can that get any deeper than 3 waves here? Possibly, but we'll just take it like this for the time being, because we'd expect it to pull back to the wave 4 of 1 lesser degree. So we're in this B wave scenario here at the moment, and there's different ways to count that. It's not the clearest count on the planet, but we've been working our way through it. So from the low here, we could look at this as an A wave, a B wave, and a C wave to this point here. I have got it as I suppose we could put just trying to think of the different ways. I mean, this is coming down a bit too low from here now, isn't it? As soon as that's breached here, I mean, I've had that as wave 1 here, but as soon as that low here is breached, which is pretty close, then we would have to take that top and this bottom over here. So that means that this B wave would need to move over here for that. Or the other thing that could be done and dusted is that, just copying that here, is the B wave over here already completed, and we've got this as the A wave here. Whoops-a-daisy. The B wave here and the C wave here for that. You know, and we're done and dusted at that point, and this is all going to roll over here for that. Well, that's possible, but we can't really go there yet unless we get that level here, the 600, as the retested resistance. But having 3 waves up here and looking at all of this is the B wave, which would be the next logical step for this. So I'd need to reorganize all of this here for that. So we could remove the wave 4 here, wave 2, wave 1, put the A wave here, the B wave here, take that over here, the C wave here, and look at all of that as the A wave up here, that there. Just move those for a moment. So our focus, if this is breached here, we need to, the next step is to get a B wave out of this move down through here. So we would have to look at this here as an ABC pattern here for this. Just shooting the breeze here really. So anyway, I'll work on that. But if 600 becomes the retested resistance, then we would need to take this top here as being the B wave top at that point. But going back to all of this here at the bigger picture in the daily chart, here, the main takeaway here, that's just a little bit small to be the A, B, and C here. So I've just got to give it some time here, you know. It just looks a bit small. Looks just a bit small. But the problem is that we do have 5 waves here. There is Adrian did account that we've got. We can count this down as an ABC pattern here, but we don't really have that 5-wave structure up here. So that kind of makes that scenario a little bit weaker at this point in time. But anyway, B waves are always tricky, so let's just have a little patience and continue to work through this. If we're going to have a short trade here, it will be this wave 3 that we'll try and catch on this side. Facebook. So really it's got the same sort of pattern and time-wise as Amazon, except it did pick up from the low here in this instance, and we'd expect it to have a reaction at the 300, which it's having, coming down back down to the 80, 280, which is the next level down. But this trend to the upside is not finished yet, so perhaps if Friday is bullish, then Monday will be bullish and we'll see this push up through there. And the Friday is really the key for all of these markets, I think, because Friday in our bullish weekly cycle is normally bullish and closing strong with Monday following through. So if Friday ends up being bearish, then we've got a change in trend at that point. Square has also become a little bit weaker as well. We noted this move down here as an ABC pattern here. So I know that the pattern is corrective. So it can just get a little bit bigger, that's all. But for the meantime, we're still tracking this up as 1 and back for 2 here. And we'll go into the tick chart to get to that. So basically here we've got an A wave, a B wave, and a C wave here for that. I'd counted 5 waves up here, not the best 5 waves, and it does leave a bit of a question mark in this move up through here. So that can be, you know, worked on. In terms of the correction though, I was looking at it as an A wave, a B wave here, then 1 and 2 here, and 3 here, an A and a B and a C for wave 4, and coming down for wave 5. So maybe we've got a low in place here. I haven't counted this in here just yet, but we'll just give that a little bit of time as well. It's not like we're far past the 61.8%, so the 210 will probably come in quite nicely as the 78.6, and we'll see if the market's going to push up from that point. Apple is the next one. So Apple's also like Tesla as well, is that we've got 5 waves down from the top here, and we've been looking at an A wave, a B wave, and a C wave here. The B wave is still a little bit small compared to the A wave here for this. You know, can it drop straight down from here? Well, anything's possible, but and we do have this here as a corrective pattern. So I know at some point that's definitely corrective here, right? It's not in 5 waves, it's in 3 waves. So at some point we'll be taking that low out here. The question is do we continue to work with a B wave for this point in time and then go up for the C wave and then roll over from that point? So that's still the case that I'm working with at this stage. So let's just bring in a bit more data on the tick chart here. So we've got our 5 waves down for our A wave here, and then from that low, as you know, we've been looking for the move up, and we can see that we've got 3 waves there. In that case, you could also put the wave A here and so on, but not that it matters. We still end up with wave C here. The question here though is that you know, this is also coming down here quite strong as well. So maybe we need to put this over here for the B wave over here for this, and look at it like that. And look at this. I'll just copy this here as an A wave here. Copy this for the B wave and copy this for the C wave here. So basically, if this low gets taken out down here, then we'll need to look at this as the A wave, the B wave, and the C wave here for that. And also too for this, I guess, is that, you know, can this come down further here? Possibly, but what we'll do, we'll just give it another session. What I'm looking for here between B and C is 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 here. Once we've got those 5 waves here, then that would be the C wave at that point. Anything below that, any move below that, then that would take us down at that point. So we'll be able to, at the end of next session, work out what our 5 waves here and where we draw the line in the sand at that point, and anything below that would be, would be bearish at that point. I did revisit this here. We can count this as 5 waves down for 1 and 2 here and 3 here and 4 here and 5 here for this, because I had this as the A, the B, and the C wave here, but it can count as 5 waves better as 1 and 2 here, and then 3 to here, 4 to here, and 5 to here. So we can view this as a impulse wave, but then we'd need to look at this as a corrective wave, and then another impulse wave here, which looks like is going to be the case. So we'll need to revisit this structure here for this. And like I said, we can't turn bearish until these 5 waves are finished here, and then we breach that 5th wave. Then we can look to be bearish at that point, but otherwise we'll just look for this here as an A and a B and a C wave coming into this space, but we'll get to that. Okay, and the last one is Alphabet. Google here, still no sort of movement here, so we'll just allow this to play out here. As you know, we've got a position here, we've taken part profit here, we've got another position that got triggered in here, we've got a really tight stop under the 2000, and we'll just leave it and let it play out, so no big deal. Alrighty, well, that's that. A lot to think about. I think it's a time that on the long side, if you've got money in equities and so on, it's probably a good time to manage that risk a little bit tighter at this point and tighten things up somewhat. Alrighty, thanks for tuning in. Cheers.